For those of you who are hoping for Ambassador to China Pete Buttigieg, sorry, I've got bad news for you. It's not gonna happen because Biden has tapped him to be the head of the Department of Transportation. And also Jennifer Granholm for energy, which is, I guess, better news. But Pete Buttigieg will be the Secretary of Transportation, with Joe Biden tweeting, Mayor Pete Buttigieg is a leader, patriot, and problem solver. He speaks to the best of who we are as a nation. I am nominating him for Secretary of Transportation because he's equipped to take on the challenges at the intersection of jobs, infrastructure, equity, and climate. Oh no, that's a good argument. So how is he equipped to do that? Like, no disrespect to him. I'm sure he's very smart. Everyone says he's very smart. He speaks a lot of languages. And the fact that he rose as fast as he did from just a small town mayor to being taken very seriously and like sort of tying in Iowa is great. I'm gonna put. It's always, to me, I said like a week ago, it feels like the TRL thing. It feels like we were told someone we were supposed to like they plucked this guy and then donors showered him with money all of a sudden. These incredibly wealthy donors showered him with money and then all of a sudden he's on the national stage and he's on magazine covers. So who set that up? Was it organic? Is it like in 2016 or 2015 actually, Bernie became a thing that people took seriously after months and months of doing ever increasingly large meetups and rallies and all of that. And he was also known for decades in government, but he had to do it organically. Buttigieg was all of a sudden was a top tier candidate when nobody knew who he was. That's the TRL thing. If you're too young, you won't get what I'm saying. But all of a sudden, somebody's the #1 pick. How did anyone know to pick them? I don't know. Anyway, so we've got more on this, JR, but he's apparently going to be Secretary of Transportation. What do you think?
I think you guys are gonna be upset with me, but it's not that I'm in support of this. I'm just not surprised. Absolutely not surprised. In fact, expected it to the point where I'm like, okay, I almost wouldn't have mentioned it. I saw the headlines, I read some of the stories, and I was like, oh, so transportation is the one that he got. That's really the biggest news, is which one would he get? And then after that, then I looked up and said, what exactly is the head of the Department of Transportation have to be responsible for? Because you know why I had to look it up? Because I don't have to generally follow what the head of the Department of Transportation is doing on a day-to-day basis. And maybe that's a shortcoming of mine, that I don't know how to follow the Department of Transportation head to realize if Pete Buttigieg is qualified for it. And of course there's road projects, infrastructure, safety measures, all those things, which again, I don't know if the head of the Department of Transportation is an expert on these things ever. There's people who work for the Department of Transportation as career people, and they know how to run it. And there's a guy in the head of it who probably gets taught up to a degree, which he will. And then by year 2, he'll be competent because other people are doing a lot of the work, which is, I think, a lot of the ways politics works in cabinet positions. There's a huge team of people that does the work. And there's a guy in the front of it who you would hope knows more than everyone else who leads it. But they're like, well, we'll just assist him into it. Not yet, look, not at all. They already said it before. We talked about this before. He's gonna learn on the job.
Okay, then we can pick anybody. It could literally anybody. It could have been Beto. It could have been no, but that I don't actually buy that. I think that you were at least partly right, and that makes me at least a little bit hopeful that he'll at least be able to stop it from like falling off a cliff, the entire department, which by the way has 55,000 people working at it. This is not a small department.
Right.
To put it in perspective, it is more than half the size of the town he was a mayor of. He's gonna be directly in charge of all of those people. I don't know, it just doesn't, I just don't like again, to me, okay, he's smart, he can learn on the job. Thousands, millions of people could learn on the job. They're still picking him to do it. And it is still fundamentally not taking the person who is heading this up all that seriously. I don't think. I just don't think so.
It's true. It's purely payback for what he did. It's payback for what he did. Yeah, he came in. He was the palatable guy. He was the one that everyone, they said, oh my God, there's an openly gay man running for president, and everyone hasn't completely sent him out of the building strictly because of that ridiculous reason that many Republicans would have sent him out of the room. So there's an acceptance of it. And said, oh my God, the American people are okay with a gay man running something. Trust me, you guys. Just
sure, and I'm glad. So yes, so he is going to be the first openly LGBTQ person to hold a cabinet level position for Biden or for anyone, and that is a good thing. But at the same time, I can point out that this is a purely political thing that he's being given for what he did during the primary that has nothing to do with any of his experience. And I don't care how many tweets Nancy Pelosi or anybody sends out about the fact that he was a mayor and they had buses, so hey, it makes sense. No, that has nothing to do with any of this. They were gonna come up with some BS explanation for anything. We were talking about the BS explanations for why he would be the ambassador to China. If you can go from thinking that's what he should do this last week to now he should do the Secretary of Transportation, you're not being serious about either of those things. They're each important jobs that require different experiences.
I agree. No, I want to very much clarify. It's not because I think they should have selected him for any of these positions. It's just I'm not surprised because I don't think this is the first time political appointments happen. There's a reason why the term exists.
I know.
Political appointments.
I get it. You're not wrong, and maybe I'm focusing too much on this particular one. This seems to me to be the most nakedly partisan so far from Biden. There's other ones that I have more of an issue with ideologically. Just this one is the most like it's like, hey, let's just find what we can give him.
And it's given his voters. They're like almost their say in it. You know how progressives want some progressives in the cabinet so we can have a voice there. So there's tons of voters that liked him and they're like, okay, let's go ahead and appease them and give him something. And they're gonna be happy about it. Keep it real.
Well, one of the few, for me, like one of the few things that's making me feel a little bit better about it is this is designed to like elevate him for his next presidential run.
Absolutely, 100%.
No, that's totally what it's for. I just think that again, these are people who don't get anything. Nobody cares. That's not what people are gonna choose based on. And it doesn't mean that it won't be cited as a reason they should be president. The same like infatuated magazine covers that he got the last time, he'll get them the next time and he'll be on The View and they will cite that as one of the things that's awesome about him. But they would love him just as much as if it wasn't there. So I don't actually care about that.
Yeah.
And the fact, by the way, that was pointed out by a journalist that one of his favorite board games is Ticket to Ride, which many people sent to me, by the way, because they know I love board games, does not make me feel better about him being Secretary of Transportation. You got to play the 18xx games or nothing. That's a serious train simulation. Ticket to Ride, that's gateway, man. That ain't gonna prepare you to run.
Wait, so you are familiar with that? You familiar with that random ass game that they just said?
Well, Ticket to Ride has sold more than like 10 million copies. It's hardly a random ass game. I've played Ticket to Ride and Ticket to Ride Europe. I have Ticket to Ride India. Actually, it's very fun. Great series of games. Get it for your family. Doesn't actually get you ready. Like I've played Terraforming Mars. They're not gonna put me in charge of Space Force. That's not how that works.
Well, if you start running for president,
I play Pandemic Legacy. I ain't gonna head the CDC.
Don't sell yourself short, John. Don't sell yourself short. You're only like 35 years old. You'll make it.
Let's go with 35. Anyway, really fast, just because I saw comments on Twitch about this. So some people were asking, wait, do you mean TRL with Carson Daly? And other people are like, what's that? Yes, I do. And basically what it was like the big thing in music for a while on MTV, which was people would call and vote on their favorite videos. And then he would do the top 10 and they'd bring the stars in and they'd sing and everything. Except that that's obviously not actually how it worked, because as I'm saying here, somebody would be the #1 video that nobody had heard about before that week. They weren't voted in that position. The record company paid TRL and they gave them the #1 and they invented stars. That's what they do. They take people that they want to be famous. They do a PR campaign. They put them on TRL and all of a sudden everybody loves them because they're in front of your face. It ain't organic. And that ain't just in music. That also happens in politics, by the way, and a lot of other things.
12-year-old John was boycotting. He was boycotting TRL back in the day when it was up. He was like,
I watched it.
It's like, damn this Carson.
When is Tom Green gonna get #1? That's a throwback. Anyway, yeah, that's actually what I believe about. That's the TRL theory. So you can take this to the bank, and you won't get anything for it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.